Hello, welcome to the fourth installment of Across the AMC. I'm your host, Scott Barker, Sports Information Director for the American Midwest Conference. It was another exciting week across the conference, and we have all the highlights on this week's show. We'll start off with a recap of men's soccer, including the game of the week, which was a nail-biter in Hannibal. Then we will move into women's soccer and volleyball and preview both of those games of the week that take place this weekend. After those, we will look at cross-country, the AMC Players of the Week that were released on Monday, the NAIA polls that were released on Tuesday, and interviews this week include Columbia women's soccer head coach John Klein and defender Caitlin Tamke, along with Lyon College women's basketball player Tressa Linson, who serves on the AMC ASA as the vice chair. We'll kick off the show by recapping the men's soccer game of the week that was played on Tuesday, and what a match it was in Hannibal. William Woods traveled to take on the Trojans from Hannibal-LaGrange University, and the Owls struck first as Billy Najuwami found the back of the net in the 7th minute to give the Owls the early 1-0 lead. The Trojans answered back with the next two goals, one by Hugo Lopez in the 22nd minute, and the second goal came in the 70th minute by Martin Gutierrez. The Owls kept battling as David Marshall scored the equalizer for William Woods with just 24 seconds left in regulation to force overtime. Neither team was able to score in the overtime periods, and the men's soccer game of the week ended in a 2-2 draw. Now we'll take a look at other scores from around the conference. Columbia William Woods remained unbeaten in conference play as the Cougars picked up a win on Saturday against Lyon, and the Owls went 1-0-1 on the week. Now here's a look at the upcoming conference schedule. Columbia takes its unbeaten streak into a match on Friday as they host Hannibal-LaGrange. This is a rematch of the 2017 AMC Men's Soccer Semifinals, where the Cougars defeated the Trojans 2-1. Here's a look at the AMC Men's Soccer updated standings. At 4-0-1, William Woods is atop the conference with 13 points, followed by Columbia and Lindenwood Belleville, who each have 9 points. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at women's soccer and preview the upcoming game of the week. Welcome back from break. I am your host, Scott Barker, Sports Information Director for the AMC. Heading into women's soccer, Missouri Baptist travels to Batesville, Arkansas to take on Lyon Scots in the AMC Game of the Week. The Spartans are 4-0-1 in the AMC and currently on a 4-game win streak and sit atop the AMC standings with 13 points. The Scots are 3-1-0 in conference play, are currently 5th in the standings, 4 points behind Missouri Baptist. Again, kickoff is scheduled for 11 a.m. in Batesville. Now let's look at scores from this past week. Missouri Baptist, Lindenwood Belleville, and Columbia all remained undefeated as the Spartans pulled off 2 wins, and Columbia and Lindenwood Belleville had 1 win apiece. That'll take us right into the updated standings as Missouri Baptist leads the conference with 13 points and a 4-0-1 record. Lindenwood Belleville and Columbia are tied for second with 12 points each, and William Woods is fourth with 10 points. Now let's preview this coming week's schedule. As mentioned before, Saturday's game of the week between Missouri Baptist and Lyon highlights this coming week's slate. The Cougars are off to a great start at 6-3-0 overall and 4-0 in the AMC. Earlier this week, I sat down with head coach John Klein and defender Caitlin Tamke.
With last week's win over Stevens, that marked the 100th win in not only the program's history, but also in your career as the women's head coach. What's that mean to you and your program to accomplish that feat in just over 6 years?
Yeah, I think it just speaks to the success and the support of Columbia College athletics. And, I think, what I take most pride in is that we've built this program on girls from mid-Missouri for the most part. And, we've kind of added players here and there from JUCO levels and stuff. But for the most part, the program's been built on the Missouri girl. And, I was really excited when we added women's soccer 7 years ago. And, I'm excited every year to compete for AMC championships and opportunities to go to the national tournament.
You all, as a program, you all have won 5 of your past 6 games, with all 5 of those wins coming via the shutout. On the year, your team has 6 shutouts, which is the 3rd highest total in the NAIA. What's been key for your defense so far this season?
Well, Katie Tamke's solid back there. We do have a few new faces back there. Allison Floyd is, a freshman from Rockbridge, has stepped in and filled Jordan Poirier shoes pretty well at right back. We moved Abigail Meyer back to center back, and she's accepted the role and she's thrived, over the last 5 or 6 games. And then we kind of just came across an unexpected, surprising goal. Kate Marshall really was deemed to be the 3rd keeper on the year, and due to injuries and other circumstances, she got the start, and she's stepped up and she's done a fabulous job back there. She's really aggressive off of her line. She's fearless, and she's good with her feet. So she's been an exceptional find for us, and I think that back four plus Kate being able to step in there for us has been the key to those shutouts and that success.
On Friday, you host Hannibal LaGrange. The Trojans are coming off a tough 3-2 overtime loss on Tuesday to William Woods. Anything you can tell us about Hannibal LaGrange?
I don't know anything. I know Tasha does a good job over there, and I really respect her. And, it doesn't look like they've had the results to this point this year, but it looks like they played, William Woods strong, and William Woods is always competitive in this conference. So we certainly aren't going to take anybody lightly, and we expect to have a battle here on Friday night. And ideally, we'll keep the ball out of the net and find a goal or two in the first half.
Last question I have for you, Coach. Since the program was started in 2012, you have led the team to 4 AMC tournament championships. What's it going to take to get that 5th one this year?
I think we're going to have to continue to strive for shutouts. I don't think we have quite the scoring power and punch that we had last year. We do have a lot of new faces and are still figuring things out, but the girls play hard every day. I think we just have to come out every day to practice and work on getting better and, step on the field with confidence each time. I do think it's possible to win the conference, but I think we're going to be challenged by several other teams, and we won't take anybody lightly. We're here to work hard today and looking forward to, continuing to progress game after game.
I actually have one more question for you. You're able to coach your daughter, Molly. What's it like being able to coach her and see the success she's had? As, she ranks in the top 5 in the conference in 5 different offensive categories. So it's like seeing her successful on the field.
Well, that was a great bonus to get an opportunity to coach my daughter. Several of these girls I've coached since they were 6 or 7 years old, and to see her join me here at Columbia College was awesome. But we got a handful of those girls, and they're all very competitive. I think Molly is having success right now, but it goes up and down, and everybody's contributing. So I'd love to see her continue, and be a part of our continued success. We're looking for another conference title and one more trip to a national tournament. But I enjoy seeing her every day. If she was at another college, I wouldn't get those opportunities. So it's awesome to have her here in Columbia.
So we'll start off with talking about the team success. I went over with Coach. As a team, you all have 6 shutouts, which is the 3rd highest total in the nation. to you, what has been key to playing a big role on that defense?
I think the biggest thing between like me and the rest of my defenders is communication in the back line, especially against bigger opponents. Whenever we're marking these like All-American players, and we really have to be communicating like during the like on the field and making sure that we're not losing those players, like losing sight of them, and working hard to keep the ball out of the net, whatever we have to do.
Coach had mentioned the play of Kate Marshall, the keeper. Does that allow you all to be a little more aggressive on defense, knowing that, if by chance you get beat, you have a pretty solid keeper back there that could maybe bail you out?
Kate has played exceptionally well, and like you said, originally we didn't think that she'd be behind goal, but with her back there, the first couple games we weren't really sure how it was going to be, but we were playing our game all the way, and Kate came up big for us on multiple occasions, making great saves. And I think me and Abby can speak that we trust her, and we know that if someone were to get through, we can take a deep breath knowing that Kate has our back and that she can come up big for us if need be.
Thank you, Coach and Caitlin, for taking the time to talk with me. Making our way into volleyball, we will preview the upcoming game of the week. The William Woods Owls, who are 3-0 in conference play, will play host to the Freed-Hardeman Lady Lions, who are 2-2 in the AMC. William Woods is currently on a 7-game win streak, entering their match against Williams Baptist on Thursday. The Lady Lions are 4-2 overall in their past 6 matches, entering the game against William Woods. Currently, the Freed-Hardeman Lady Lions are a game and a half behind the Owls in the conference standings. It's been quite a start to the season for the top 3 teams in the conference. Number 1 Park Pirates are 14-0 overall, 3-0 in the AMC, and have not dropped a single set this season. The 3rd-ranked Columbia Cougars are 17-1 on the season and have won 13 matches in a row, with 12 of those coming by a 3-0 sweep. The 8th-ranked Spartans are off to a great start as well, as they have won 16 matches in a row, including 12 coming via the sweep. The Spartans are now 17-2 on the season. Here's a look at conference scores from the past week. Missouri Baptist, Park, Columbia, and William Woods all stayed unbeaten in conference action. At 6-0, Missouri Baptist leads the way in the conference standings, followed by Columbia at 5-0, and William Woods and Park, who are 3-0 on the season. Taking a look at the upcoming week's schedule, the AMC game of the week on Friday between William Woods and Freed-Hardeman highlights the upcoming conference schedule. We will take a quick break, and when we return, we will take a look at which 4 schools were in action in cross country. Welcome back to Across the AMC. I'm your host, Scott Barker. As mentioned before, we will segment our way into cross country as 4 schools were in action this past weekend. The men's team from Freed-Hardeman had the highest team finish of any school, finishing 2nd at the Freed Speed Open. Williams Baptist completed a 3rd place team score, and Park men's team and Williams Baptist women's team finished 4th at their respective races. This weekend, 7 more schools will be competing as William Woods, Missouri Baptist, Linwood Belleville, and St. Louis Pharmacy run on Friday, followed by Central Baptist, Stevens, and Columbia, who compete on Saturday. The American Midwest Conference Association of Student Athletes is the conference's student-athlete leadership group that provides a communication link between student athletes and the athletic administration of the AMC members. The AMC ASA will be engaged in conference issues and programs such as the NAIA Champions of Character Initiative, serve as a sounding board for conference administrators, and a voice for the student athletes. Each of the AMC's 13 institutions will have at least 2 student members that will serve on the AMC ASA. Earlier this week, I was able to sit down with Lyon College women's basketball player Tressa Linson, who also serves as the AMC ASA Vice Chair. All right, Tressa, how about you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a senior here at Lyon College. I'm a biology major with a pre-med concentration. Hopefully I'll go to med school in the next couple of years, so that's super exciting. I'm originally from Blue Eye, Missouri, which is a town that's like 167 people, I think. That was the last census. It's technically a village, so, I mean, cool little fact, I guess. But I obviously love basketball. That's what I play here at Lyon, and I'm getting married in June of 2019, so next year.
So how long have you been playing basketball?
Oh Lord, I've been playing basketball like my whole life. My dad was a basketball coach for, I think, a handful of small schools back in Missouri, and he's been doing that for as long as I've been around, and so I just grew up around it and fell in love.
Cool. All right, so you mentioned going to med school after graduation here at Lyon. Any big plans after that? I mean, do you have any goals, I guess?
Yes. So my goal is to become a pediatrician, specifically a neonatologist. So I want to take care of those babies in the neonatal intensive care, or the NICU, and get to hang out with them and try to help them get back to being super healthy and getting out of that hospital. I got to be at Arkansas Children's Hospital this summer, and that's where I really learned that's what I wanted to do. So I got to spend a lot of time up there in the NICU, and it was a lot of fun and really interesting.
What made you want to get involved with the student group here at Lyon?
It was kind of a weird thing for me. So Coach Lang approached me about it, and I had a teammate nominate me. So I started here at the campus level at Lyon with our student athlete advisory organization, and then Coach Lang approached me again with the national ASA form and was like, hey, fill this out. I honestly didn't know what it was at first, but I am so glad that I filled that out, and I was selected to represent the Division I women's basketball kind of group, and it was an amazing experience at the national level. But that's kind of how I got involved. It was unconventional. I didn't really know what was happening, but like I said, it was one of the best things that has happened to me while I've been in college, and I really enjoyed my time, and I got to meet a lot of cool people and got to even meet the president, CEO, Jim Carr, by being on a panel with him through that. So I mean, it was just a host of cool experiences.
All right, so here at Lyon, they have a tradition of, throwing toys or stuffed animals onto a court after one of the basketball games. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So we have the tradition of the toy toss, which usually occurs at a men's or women's basketball game. And as soon as we score the first point, everyone throws a stuffed animal onto the floor. And then as soon as everyone gets done with that, we have other student athletes come and collect them so we can donate them to Toys for Tots or some other charity organization that is similar.
Is there any other tradition that's similar that Lyon does, or maybe your women's basketball team?
I guess sort of a tradition as part of homecoming. Something really cool for the women's basketball team is we have an alumni game every year. So we get to invite all of our older players from, I don't think there's an age limit, so whoever wants to come can come. And we get to really meet our family, because that's really what Lyon College women's basketball is about, is getting to know the people who paved the way for you, and the ones that have just joined on get to kind of really see that culture and get to make some really cool friendships. And it's nice to see like the people who were seniors when I was freshman,
right.
And then now I'm a senior, so I get to kind of reflect back on that time and be like, man, this is what I looked like to them at this time. But it's just really cool, and you get to hug a lot of necks that you haven't seen in a while. So it's a really, really
That's
great
awesome.
time. Yeah.
So far, at this point in your life, what accomplishment are you the most proud of?
Oh Lord. I think the accomplishment that I am most proud of has been being involved with FCA. Through that, I've gotten to lead a lot of young students to Christ, and that has been one of the most amazing experiences I've ever been a part of. And I've worked camps here in Batesville and back home at Blue Eye, and it never fails that just that being in that situation, that feeling is just amazing. And knowing that those guys made a decision to dedicate their lives to Christ is just, it's just, I don't know, there's not a word to describe it. It's just amazing. I don't know how else to really put it into words, but that is definitely the most awesome
That's
experience
great.
I've experienced.
That's great. So going back to ASA, you were involved last year with on the national level.
Mm-hmm.
This year you're the vice chair for the AMC ASA. Are there any goals, or what do you want to get out of that position this year?
So one of the main things I really want to accomplish through the conference ASA this year is kind of that time management plan that we've talked about. We tried to kind of do something similar at the national level the past couple of years, just the wording was kind of off, and some people weren't totally receptive of that or in approval because there were like some little loopholes and not specific enough, kind of that stuff. So hopefully starting at the conference level, we can kind of demonstrate it here, maybe with a few schools, kind of like prototypes, and then maybe that'll help the national level get their feet under them and kind of create something similar to that sort.
So what's one word that your teammates would use to describe you?
Oh, this is a tough question. Hopefully a servant. I love serving people, I love helping people, and I just want to demonstrate that especially for the younger kids, since this is my last year here. Just kind of instilling that sense of being humble, and you're not too great to do anything for this team. Just to be able to serve and do whatever you can to make sure that our team is the best we can be.
So what's one thing that you hope that your teammates, whether they're same age as you, maybe a freshman, what's one thing that you hope you can pass on to them that they adopt from you?
I'd have to go again with like the servant thing, kind of the servant leadership aspect of the NAIA, one of our core 5 values. I really want people to take a hold of that, because it doesn't end at basketball. Like, yes, this is my last year, unfortunately, and I'm going to miss basketball a great deal, but I can take that servant leadership that I've learned here and transfer it to my professional life, to my personal life. It crosses all aspects. So, I mean, just to continue to use that to help other people and hopefully have an impact in other people's lives, no matter if it's great or small.
Thank you, Tressa, for taking the time to sit down with us this week. We will take another break, and when we return, we will look at the AMC Players of the Week that were announced on Monday. On Monday, the AMC released the Players of the Week for men's and women's soccer, men's and women's cross country, volleyball, and men's and women's golf. For men's soccer, Billy Najuwami from William Wood scored 3 goals and added 2 assists before being named Offensive Player of the Week and leading the Owls to a 2-0 week in conference play. On the defensive side, Davide Bucarelli from Missouri Baptist was named Defensive Player of the Week after making 7 stops and 200 minutes in goal and recording 2 clean sheets. For women's soccer, Columbia's Kate Marshall and William Wood's Shelby Scanlon took home the 2 weekly honors. Marshall was named Defensive Player of the Week after going 2-0 and making 5 saves. Scanlon scored 6 goals, including 5 in one game, and dished out an assist en route to the Offensive Player of the Week. For volleyball, William Wood's Jessica Jensen and Williams Baptist Aldra Nailing were named Volleyball Players of the Week for the 2nd straight week. Jensen, who won Defender of the Week, tallied 52 total digs to lead the Owls to 3 wins. Nailing was named Attacker of the Week after she hit .325 and recorded 37 kills in 2 matches, with 28 kills coming in the win over Harris Stowe. Nailing became the first ever Eagle to win a Volleyball Player of the Week in back-to-back weeks. Rounding out the Volleyball Player of the Week was Parks setter Dana Gomes, who was named Setter of the Week. Gomes led the Pirates to 3 more sweeps by dishing out 80 assists and 7 sets, including 37 and a 3-0 sweep over Lyon. The 4th weekly award for men's and women's cross country went to Freed Hardman's Tyler Alberson and Parks' Naomi Laggett. Alberson finished first at the Freed Speed Open with an 8K time of 25 minutes 53 seconds. That time set a new course record, which was set in 2017 by Alverson. Laggett competed at the 2018 Dean White Invitational, running the 5K course in a time of 19:56. The freshman finished 10th and helped the Pirates to a 6th place team finish. The second weekly award for men's and women's golf was also released on Monday, as Central Baptist Taylor Morton was named Men's Golfer of the Week, and William Woods Maria Zardoska was named Women's Golfer of the Week. Morton shot 5 under and finished second at the Southwestern Christian Fall Invitational, posting a first-round low score of 4 under par at 68. Zardoska was named Women's Golfer of the Week after winning the WWU Fall Invite. The freshman won her first ever collegiate tournament by shooting scores of 76 and 77, winning the event by 3 strokes. Congratulations again to all the players of the week. Rounding out the show, we will take a look at where conference teams were ranked in the latest NAIA Men's and Women's Soccer Top 25 Coaches Poll. Columbia College women's team held steady at number 21, and this marks the 21st straight poll that the Cougars have been in the top 25. On the men's side, Columbia Cougars moved up 2 spots from number 18 to number 16, and the Owls from William Woods are receiving national attention as they are receiving votes for the 2nd straight week. Fans, be sure to sign up for email and text alerts at amcsportsonline.com/alerts so you can be notified when Across the AMC has been released, as well as other news items from across the AMC. Also, don't forget to give the AMC a like on the 3 major social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That wraps up the 4th edition of Across the AMC. Again, I am your host, Scott Barker, Sports Information Director for the American Midwest Conference. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.